The coachman led the way across the yard to the carriage and let Tattoo in.
"If you don't mind, I'd like the boy to ride with me and keep an eye out for thieves. When we're near Paris, I'd like you both inside. Don't want a riff-raff trying to hitch a ride, do we?"
He handed Jan a heavy coat to wear. It nearly drowned him. It was a small carriage with 2 young horses to pull it, both of whom seemed highly strung and reluctant to leave the warmth of the stable. Finally, with much urging, they made their way down the avenue of trees, whose branches were full of little lights that twinkled like stars. Beyond the estate lay a vast, black abyss, waiting to swallow them up.
"I hate driving at night,"
said Dufour miserably, his breath coming out of him in a foggy mist.
"Gives me the creeps. What's that?"
He flinched as the sky above the chateau erupted with the sound of fireworks. They exploded into the darkness, painting patterns of light in the shape of stars, serpents, comets, and chrysanthemums. It was an astounding sight in this landscape of ice and snow. Terrified by the noise, the horses reared up. Dufour lost control of the reins, grabbing at the sides of the carriage to stop himself from being thrown to the ground. The horses, now wild with fear, were galloping. Up ahead the road turned, and Jan could see that at this speed the coach would skid on the ice. With difficulty he scrambled down from the coachman's seat.
"You're mad!"
yelled Dufour, as with one measured leap Jan managed to mount the first horse. Holding on to its neck for all he was worth, he leant forward and whispered into its pinned-back ears. At the sound of his soft voice, both horses became calmer and slowed down until they finally came to a halt, steam rising from their glossy coats. Jan climbed down and stroked their muzzles, talking to them.
"You're a brave one and no mistake,"
said Dufour, wiping the sweat from his forehead.
"For what was I gone about there? What do you say to him?"
Jan shrugged, looking back to see the last of the fireworks.
"The only other person I've seen talk to horses like that was a gypsy man. I had a feeling you two had gypsy blood."
Jan wasn't listening. He was wondering if Sido had been allowed to see the fireworks, or if she was still locked in her chamber. He smiled as he stared at the road in front of him. The thought of how angry the Count would be to discover that the purse and the red necklace were missing warmed him. Dufour shivered.
"I always think them forests are full of eyes, all watching and waiting."
He laughed.
"I tell you this, boy, I'll be glad when I see the lights of Paris."
Count Kaliowski, returning to his chamber in the early hours of the morning, looked into the heart of the fire. It had been a good night on the gaming tables. The little black leather-bound notebook that he privately called the Book of Tears was full of IOUs with trembling signatures of desperate souls longing to borrow more, sure that their luck would change. He had bought himself more foolish-minded men and women who would soon be asked to pay him back with interest. He put the Book of Tears on the desk. It was only then that he noticed the absence of the red necklace. A cold fury overtook him. He went over to the bed, felt in the drapes for the purse, and cursed out loud when he found it gone. With rising anger, he summoned Milk-Eye.
"Where are they?" "We are still looking, master." "Why haven't you found them?" "We did not know there were passages behind the walls."
"Show me," said the Count coldly. Milk-Eye opened the hidden door. The Count turned his icy gaze upon his servant and pinned him up against the wall.
"I made you, and I can destroy you, and I will. I want both of them. Do you understand?" "Alive, master?" "No. Dead."
End of Disc 1.